All right. Hey, everybody.
What's up?
Welcome to the second episode of It's a Good
Yeah, and this is a
podcast.
legit second episode.
The actual second
Yeah,
episode.
there's no episode 2 part 1. There's none of that. Just official
Let's
episode
hope.
2. Yeah. Is the phone charged?
Oh, the phone. I
Yeah.
think so.
Okay, we're gonna fucking find out. So if you stop seeing us halfway through this, just be sure just to listen. Computer's plugged in, got power.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll just put a picture of you and I for like the remaining
yeah,
part
yeah,
of the audio.
like a candid photo. Technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Actually, we don't have any promotional photos together.
No, we don't.
No.
We need some of those.
We gotta get that going.
We do.
A lot of props,
Yeah, for sure.
big hammers and stuff.
Big. Thumbs up.
Giant thumbs up. Yeah, hell yeah,
It's
dude.
a good.
It's a good.
Crying, but like with the thumbs up.
Yeah. Yo,
It's a good-
something. I was talking to Betsy, and she was telling me her favorite part from last week's episode was something that you had said about like when your parents are like hitting you and they don't want you to cry about it, and then or threatening to hit you rather, and then you grow up and you're like, well, that's like, why don't you express your emotions? And it's because you've been bottling them up. You know?
Yeah.
And how that resonated with her. And I think that's the essence of It's a Good podcast, the thumbs up with the tears in the eye.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Everything's good. How do you feel about when people ask you? I mean, I feel comfortable telling you exactly how I feel when you tell me, how are you?
Yeah.
But like when people tell you, like, do you think it's awkward when people, like just a random person is just like, how are you? And you like tell them honestly how you really feel.
You know, I would rather just tell them honestly how I feel, you know, because I think it presents just realness.
Yeah.
You know, I'd rather somebody think that I was genuine and fucking sad sack than for me to like, oh, that Richard's always like happy and fake.
Yeah.
You know, it's a little hard sometimes though, because I do feel like when we're hanging out, I'm like, just it's good to see a friend. So
Yeah.
I'm happy, right? But there's like I remember the first time we recorded, I hadn't slept all night because
Yeah.
the baby was like crying, he was teething. So when I saw you, I was just like, let me just let you know, dude, that I'm so tired right now. And
But-
that's important for me that people know where I'm at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Honestly, you didn't even like look tight. You guys do a good job of like, you know, remaining yourselves and like
Yep.
still.
You mean
in a
just
good
working with 40% of our brain? Hell yeah.
Do a
dude.
good job at
yeah,
that.
Hell yeah, dude. Shout out to all the moms and dads out there with
Yeah,
little babies.
literally. I'm like
You're
nervous
doing the Lord's work.
for like when I have kids. It's crazy because like right now, like we were talking about this. I don't think like I have enough time right now, or like I make excuses or whatever. But it's like when you have kids, you really can't make excuses. It's just like either you want to get shit done or you don't.
Yeah, you have to just get it done. But then here's the hard part: when you finally do want to break, you're like, okay, let me take a second to breathe. You feel like the laziest fucking person in the world. You know, I mean, let me spend 15 minutes playing video games, and I feel like I am wasting my life. It's really hard. You know, you have to really. It's a lot of brain work to just be like, okay, yeah, no, I'm doing the right thing. I can take a break. I can
You deserve that.
decompress for a little bit.
You deserve
know?
it more than if you didn't have
Yeah.
kids. Yeah,
Poor
for sure.
Betsy's been like in school, and so she's been doing a lot of homework. And she came back from doing homework. She was like at Starbucks doing homework. Came back, and I was like, "Hey, take a second to decompress." She's like, "No, I need to help you clean the kitchen." I'm like, "Take a second, decompress." She's like, "Okay, thank you so much." And then I'm like picking up some stuff in the kitchen, and then I come back and she's doing homework. And I'm like, "I just told you to relax." And she was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." She couldn't help it. She's such an amazing person.
I thought you were gonna be like, and then she came back and the kitchen was on fire.
yeah, exactly. Babe, where's the fire extinguisher?
Oh no.
Yeah, dude. I've never let things get that bad in my house, where they caught on fire.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah.
Me either. I've left candles on though when I wasn't at home, with my dog still there, which is really bad. Shouldn't do that.
I'm glad you're practicing on a dog first, dude. Speaking of dogs, it was your dog's birthday.
It was.
Which, you know, I'm very upset at because last week you didn't even tell me it was your birthday. but you were so adamant about your dog's birthday. You're like, yo.
Because she's so cute. When you open her mouth, she has a little underbite. She would have a lisp if she was an actual baby.
Yeah.
She's so cute. That's cute. She's so cute.
I'm trying to think of a dog voice. I love your mama. This is like, oh God, what a disturbing dog,
Poor
dude.
Nai.
She's a sweetheart.
She is. She's a sweetheart. You haven't actually met her. She's not a sweetheart when you first meet her. Because, since she doesn't know you.
I'm a dog person, though. Dogs love me, dude.
Okay.
I'm a dog whisperer.
We're going to have to. Okay, good. We're going to have to have you meet her. Cause
I'm just going to grab her head and we're just look at each other in the eyes. She's going to know my soul.
She's going to be like,
and I'm just gonna,
this is him. This is him.
This is him. And then she's going to come home with me. And I'm going to take the dog. And you won't have one.
My mom was like, when we slept over her house this weekend, I was like, Mom, my doggy has to sleep with me. She's my service dog. I need her for my anxiety.
For real?
No.
But I was laughing and I was like, wait, maybe I shouldn't fucking laugh right now.
No, but I was just making shit up because I wanted her to sleep with me. And my mom was like, no. ¿Qué va a ser un perro en la cama? No. She's like, she'll sleep downstairs with the rest of the dogs. And I was like, she's not just a regular dog, Mom. Yeah. She's my dog. Yeah. My mom's like, no. She's going to be fine. We're just going to make her a bed down here. My mom was still nice enough to put a little nice little carpet with a blanket and everything.
Spray some Febreze on there. The dog make it smell nice.
Sweet.
Mom, you don't understand. My dog's not one of your savage dogs.
She's not one of those.
My dog has a bow tie.
Have you seen that TikTok where it's just I don't know the beginning part of the TikTok, but then it transitions into I want waffle fries, and it's always a dog. So it's a regular song, and then they put their dog in a privileged position, almost like a human. They make their dog human, and then they're just I want waffle fries.
No, I haven't
it's
seen
hilarious.
That.
I'll have to show you.
Very much a dog mom TikTok.
It is. Yeah. The algorithm works.
Yeah, exactly. It's I don't really see too many dog TikToks. For me, it's more just obscure, weird humor that makes me laugh, dude. Again, the last TikTok I saw was this dude, and he was singing to his girl. He was serenading her in Mexico, and then a dude peeks his head out while he's singing to this girl from inside the house, and then the other guy that's recording, he's like, "Ah, cabrón." And then the dude kind of comes out and he just puts his arm around the girl that's getting serenaded, and the guy that's singing is just he's singing and crying at the same time. It's so funny.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I'd be there.
Have you seen the Happy Hispanic Heritage Month? And it's a drawing of the Yahweh.
No, yeah, I did see that, dude. Immortalizing that moment, dude.
Yeah. That's so crazy how moments and social media have now become cultural moments.
Yeah,
it's
and
so
even
cool.
Even cross cultures, because I know that friends of mine that were raised in Texas lived in Boston, because they're Mexican. They know that scenario so well that we can relate on that. We grew up in completely different places, but we know Yahweh, por favor, no. And then or the dad at the end mojaste, ¿verdad? You know what I mean? And the kids all so mad. The dad, just to be the dad was recording the whole time, bro. What an asshole dad,
It was
dude.
the dad?
Yeah.
Wow, that's bogus. It's always the parents. Oh, my God.
Yeah, man. They let him fight. That's how I broke my arm when I was a kid. My brother and I were just fighting on my parents' bed. And my dad and my uncle were just watching us do it. And then my brother kicked the legs from underneath me. We watched a lot of kung fu movies back then, and I fell off the bed and I landed on my elbow, broke my elbow.
No.
Yeah, and then my dad had to pick me up and take me to the hospital. But it was just my mom left to do something and comes back and her son's arm is broken.
That's such a dad thing.
What? I didn't know they were gonna do that. I didn't know.
That's such a Mexican dad thing.
No, I think he wanted to see us fight too, because he's. At least now that I'm a dad, I understand that. I'm yeah, you want your boys to fight a little bit so they can get stronger, and maybe it makes sense at the time.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
At least your dad took you to the hospital. I fractured my wrist, and my mom was like, it's fine. Nada más te torciste. 3 days went by, my hand was fucking swollen, bro. It was like this. It was huge.
What the fuck is up with moms, dude? I broke my finger. I broke my finger, and my mom's like, just put it in salt water. And I was like, okay. And then it was like still hurting. And it was too late. By the time I went to the hospital, they're like, why didn't you go when it happened? I'm like, because my mom told me not to go to the hospital.
It took my my best friend's mom to tell my mom, like, yo, you need to take her to the doctor, because I couldn't even get into the pool. I couldn't put any pressure on the hand because I literally would feel the bone moving. Like,
oh Jesus.
Oh, it hurt so bad. And I remember we went to the doctor, and they're like, squeeze my finger, and me like just very innocently was like, like it hurt so bad, and they're like, yeah, you fractured it, like you're gonna have to wear a cast.
Damn, dude.
And yeah, that was the only bone I ever fractured or broke.
I broke my elbow twice, and then I broke my finger.
Ooh.
And my heart's been broken a couple times.
Okay, mine's been broken since the womb. No worries.
I broke my elbow. The last time I broke my elbow, I was like 19, and my girlfriend had like let me know. Like, okay, so my girlfriend would talk about, at the time, my girlfriend would talk about like people that she knew, right? And we knew a lot of the same people. And there was this one guy that she told me about, and that like I was like a little hesitant because he was a FUCKBOY.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Fuck boy, if anyone that doesn't know how to spell. And she was like, oh, he came by to visit, and I'm like, let me get my ass there right now. So I'm riding my bike as fast as I can, right, to get over there. And then I hit a divot in the road, and my bike just like flips. And I just remember in my head, I'm like, as I'm floating in the air, getting ready to crash into the pavement, I'm like, I better protect my head. And so I went like this to cover my head. No. And I hit my elbow, and I remember hitting the pavement, and my arm just couldn't move. It was like pressed up against my arm. It looked like a little T-Rex arm. And I was pulling my bike off the road, and I crashed in front of this pizza place on 31st and Pulaski, and all these girls that I knew were there, you know, and they're like, Richard, are you okay? Oh my God. And it was just so surreal for me because I was not expecting to see them there.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'm good, you know, and they're like, oh my God, you know, my mom lives down the street. We could take her to the house to see how you're doing. And I was like, okay, I'll go. And so some girls took my bike to my house, and then the other girls took me to see their mom. I was really grateful for them. They were like little angels. And then they took me to see her mom, and she's like, Mijo, I think your arm is broken. Thank God it wasn't my mom who would have just told me to put salt on it. But she was like, Mijo, I think your arm is broken. I was like, it's not broken. And then I saw the mirror, and my arm was purple, dude. It was purple. And you know what's bad? When you're wearing a long sleeve and that shit gets ripped. That's how hard it hit the pavement, dude. And so I had this purple elbow. Looked terrible. Just terrible. And she's like, she called her husband. I believe his name was Ricardo. She's like, Ricardo, look at this boy. He broke his arm. And then the dude looked like he worked all night and slept all day, right? Because he woke up and he just like real groggy. And he looked at me, and his eyes were kind of closed. And then he saw me, and he opened his eyes. And he looked at me. And he's like, oh, shit. And I was like, oh, God, it's bad, dude. And then he drove me to the hospital, but the whole time as he was driving me to the hospital, he would just like look at me and be, oh shit, and just keep driving. He dropped me off, and he helped me out because I stopped by my girlfriend's house beforehand, and there was that dude there, and I was just looking at the two of them, and I'm like, look what happened to me. Shout out to those two individuals who I will not name.
Yeah. I will not name, but their names rhyme with.
yeah, exactly. Pamantha. And Chris.
Makes it more obvious than if you did it. My one time, Chuito, I don't know what happened to Chuito, but he was like really sore from a game or something, and my mom put him like in the bathtub, like really hot water. And then she starts putting this Epsom salt. But, you know, Chui's like super, doesn't know what's going on ever.
Starts drinking the salt?
No. He's like, what are you doing? Are you making me into a caldo?
No, mijo. Here, put a carrot in your mouth.
Just gonna slice up some potatoes.
No, mijo. No. Shh. Put that underwater. All this pimiento inside the water afterwards.
Oregano.
Yeah.
Those leaves. What are they called? It's a bay leaf.
Bay leaf. Yeah, throw a bay leaf and then throw some hominy inside. Yeah, throw it in there. Biggest fucking can. A pozole. Just put it in there.
A big like wooden spoon.
Yeah. Just fucking hit him in the head. Boom. Don't struggle. It makes the meat taste bad. Gosh, man. Would you ever eat a person?
No.
I mean, like, if you had to. Like, I mean, not if you had to. Obviously, I'm like, if you were forced to eat one, would you eat? But I'm like, okay, would you eat human flesh if you were, like, stranded and there was, like, 6 of you and you were starving, all of you?
I don't think so.
You wouldn't. So you would get eaten?
I mean, I don't know if I would, if I was like in, I don't know, because I don't know myself in the state of desperation like that, you know?
You gotta learn who that person is, dude.
Yeah, because I don't know if I would eat human. I don't know, I've never been starving in that way, so I don't know how to answer your question, but
I think, okay, now that I know that you've never been, like, starving like that, I feel like you would definitely be eating somebody. You're like, I can't go without food. Yeah. You're just like, yeah, like half a day into the fucking being stranded. Let's eat that guy. Or start biting somebody's neck.
Listen, I've been thinking about this.
Yeah. That one has to go. You know what I mean?
Got a little bit more meat on
you.
you.
Yeah. Just, So you don't know? You don't think you... Do you think you would? Like, if you... Imagine the darkest part of your mind. If you were so hungry... Would you, like, volunteer yourself to get eaten, or would you be...
Shit, I ain't volunteering myself to get eaten, but I'll probably eat somebody.
See, so it's about self-preservation.
Preservation, yeah, for sure.
Okay. I think I would try to hold out as long as I could, but I would eat somebody, I think. Yeah.
I think we all would.
Yeah.
How do you feel about drinking your own pee if you were that thirsty?
I've smelled my pee.
Yeah, same.
And I'm just like, there's nothing appetizing about it.
Same.
I don't pee on my... I wonder.
Wow.
No. Dude, and if I'm that thirsty, you know how yellow that thing's going to be?
Yeah, bro.
That thing's going to look like an egg yolk. Dude.
Ew, just pretend it's lemonade.
No, dude. Even lemonade don't look
juice.
that dark, dude. Lemonade is more like a little cloudy. It's like barely off-white, you know. Lemonade looks like apple juice. I mean, pee looks like apple juice.
Yeah, it does.
Ew. Yeah. Would you drink apple juice? No.
I'm like, yeah.
So pee, I wouldn't drink my pee. I would eat someone. Now, would you eat someone's pee?
Hell no. If we could barely drink our own, imagine. No, Richard. Oh my God, no wait. This leads to a funny ass story.
Okay, let me hear it.
So Chewy. This is like Daisy's looking at this right now. And she's like, oh my God, I already know what she's gonna say.
Yeah.
So I wasn't there for this, but
oh jeez.
Chuito, my mom, and Daisy were out somewhere, and my mom had stopped at a gasoline station, and Daisy was very, very, very thirsty. And my mom was just like, no, I'm not gonna get off. I'm gonna get off to put gas, but I'm not gonna get off to put water. We're almost home. Yeah. You know.
What?
And
where is this going?
And so then my mom was just like, there's some water in the back. Get that water. Daisy is just like, okay, whatever. So she just drinks it. And it's Chewy's pee that he hadn't thrown away. And Daisy was just like, ew, this is Chewy's pee. Ma, she was like crying and like hysterical and was just like gagging, and my mom was just like, "What's wrong with you?
Your
¿Qué pasa?
poor sister,
Chewy's
dude.
pee."
Your poor sister, dude.
And my mom
That's
was trying
horrible.
not to laugh, but like now it's a hilarious story. But in the moment, Daisy was just like, "Chewy, why did you put your pee in there?"
What did Chewy say?
Chewy was just like, you know, Chewy. Chewy
Whatever,
was just
dude. It's just pee, dog. I drink it all
She
the
was
time.
just like not like didn't really know what was going on. He's just like,
You know, it explains why Daisy's a little, Just kidding. I'm trying. No.
she's right here. She's watching.
She's listening.
What do you
I'm
mean?
this way. I say that because I know she's gonna be listening.
Yeah.
I was like, that explains why she's not all there. Not just like,
All those little particles that got into her body.
oh yeah, dude. All those chewy pee
All
particles.
those streaky particles. Chewy germs.
I remember I had my uncle, a vivid memory of him growing up because he was 8 years older than me. So when he was a teenager, I just remember just a bunch of pee bottles in his room all the time. I'm like putting his business on blast, but it's just such a vivid memory. It's like, just get up to the bathroom and pee, dude.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
It's okay, dude.
It's okay.
Just do whatever you need to do, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's all good, bro. You can cut that part. Edit that part out. I was yeah. Pee's just funny, dude. Like, it's just a funny thing. I'm teaching my son now to find places to pee because sometimes he'll just like pee anywhere he wants to. One time I just saw him just peeing in the middle of the backyard. Just in the middle, like he wasn't by a tree. He was just out there.
No corner. Or
No
anything, just
corner.
like-
I'm like, yo, Mio, you can't do that. He's like, what? I gotta pee. And I was like, no, you don't get it, dude. Neighbors are walking by and stuff like that. But I feel like sometimes my neighbors perceive my family as a little hillbilly family.
Little.
Yeah, because there's a bunch of toys all over in my backyard, And the neighbor next to me has a kid like my children's age, but there's like never any toys outside.
Oh,
Also, the kid doesn't go outside. You know what I mean?
okay.
But you know what? You ever see those kids when you're growing up? Because I always felt like, God bless my parents, because they kind of just let us be kids.
Yeah.
We were just crazy, my siblings and I. But there was always kids that had like a lot of order around them, and so they're really nice and clean all the time, and there's never any mess in their house. But they're so pent up that when they get a little bit of give, they just go crazy. Yeah. I remember this kid, Robert, during my third grade birthday party. Like, he came over and his mom just like was always on top of him. The kid, like, you were supposed to read 25 books for the whole year. My man read 50 halfway through the year, and then he won he read 100 books. The kid was a nice kid. His mom was a little much.
Oh, okay.
But he was nice. But he came over to my house and he was just so, I think he had like soda for the first time or some shit, because he was going crazy. He farted and he laughed. He was like so free. And he was just going nuts and like jumping on people and just like we were really happy to see him kind of let loose. But I don't know where that guy's at now. I don't know. Maybe he's in jail.
Maybe because
he killed somebody.
Listen, I don't have kids, so take my word for a grain of salt with a grain of salt. But I always felt like when it comes to parenting, it's better to kind of let your child be free in that sense, because I feel like obviously there has to be some sort of discipline and some sort of like
structure,
holding back on certain things that could be dangerous for them. But I think when you restrict them too much, they can rebel, and then that's where where they start like comparing, and they're just like, well, how come this kid can do that, and like how come this kid can do that, and how come my mom doesn't let me do that? And then they start like comparing, and then they start wanting to do those things, when in reality, if you would have just talked to them about it or told them, hey, this is the reason why I don't let you do this, or like, look, I'm gonna let you try it out, but just so you know, it has these and these and these consequences, or whatever it is, right? Because I feel like that whole like restriction on like, he never had a soda, poor kid, and it's just like a soda, it's just like, yes, it has a lot of sugar and all these things, but I think, when you restrict them to that kind of like level, they can, I don't know, I feel like, one, they feel left out because everybody else is doing it, and that's kind of as they grow older, it's kind of just like it's the same thing with like peer pressure, right? Everybody's drinking, and then you don't drink, and then you kind of want to do the same thing. When in reality, if like your parents would have just told you like, here, have a beer at home, tell me how you feel, you know? And my parents have always told me it's better if you do it at home than to do it outside somewhere else where nobody's taking care of you and you don't know what's gonna happen to you.
Yeah.
You know, and I definitely want to give my kids that. It's kind of like that, like freedom to just kind of be like, yo, look. And I was listening to this Melissa McCarthy interview, and she said that she like lets her kids kind of like be free and like express themselves in whatever way they want, and she doesn't have like a big reaction when they look a certain way or like they do certain things that she's not used to. Because like one of her kids is really into anime, and like she'll like come home or like she'll go to school with like elf ears and like just like crazy outfits and stuff, and her mom or Melissa will be like, oh, that's cool, and her kid will kind of be like, what? Like, because her kid wants a reaction from her, like from her to be like, what are you wearing or what are you doing going to school like that or whatever, but she's just like, oh, cool. And then her kid just kind of, she's like, I feel like the more that I accept my kids the way that they are and the way that they do things, they're kind of just like, oh, like, I don't have to wild out to get my mom's attention, like, you know?
Give it a couple years and the kid's like, no matter what I did, my mom never noticed me.
There's always something you're going to do wrong.
They always flip it on you, dude. No, I agree with that. My dad would always tell us, he was like, I don't want you drinking. I don't want you out there getting like all crazy. But if you do, you can always give me a call and I'll always pick you up. Never feel afraid to let me know to help you guys. And that was really important for me in high school because I just never really got into anything because it wasn't like a rebellious thing, because he kind of like gave me permission to do it in a weird way, but at the same time he laid out the consequences and I was like, I don't want that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Same thing with like premarital sex, you know, he would always tell us like, I don't want you guys doing it, but if you do it, have protection, and remember who we are. If you do get someone pregnant, you're gonna raise that baby and you're gonna work. And I was like,
I don't want to do that.
I don't want to be a dad yet, dude. I want to be a dad one day, but I don't want to be a dad now. And so, yeah, I just I didn't get into anything during high school, to the surprise of many people.
I thought I was gonna go to hell the first time I had sex. I was like, I'm going to hell.
Yo.
I was so scared, like literally.
Just hell? Just like straight up? Just.
Yeah, I was just like, well, this is it. I had sex before marriage, so I'm going to hell.
Oh, damn.
But I didn't know. I grew up Catholic. I didn't, I wasn't a Christian.
Right.
I became a Christian last year.
Yeah.
So
Catholic.
So for me, religion was like entirely like condemnation.
Yeah.
Right. Like for me, it was like, and I still struggle with that today. With like, I look at God, like thinking that he's just like, oh my God, what do you want? Like I feel like every time like I pray, God's just like, what the. Okay,
he's just
tell
like
me.
This, rubbing his temple.
Yeah, he's like, oh, here comes the headache again. You know?
Not even. See, this is why you don't celebrate your fucking birthday, dude. Because you think you're a headache to God. Jesus, man, he loves you so much. Ugh.
I know he does. And I feel it, right? Like the other day I was like looking at the moon. I literally had like this like spiritual encounter with God, and I was just like, oh, you love me so much.
Yeah, dude.
But I've always had that like battle, so when I had premarital sex, I was like, I'm doomed. I was so scared. And then when I became a Christian, I was just like, oh, God loves me.
Yeah, I feel that, dude. I got kicked out of the house when I was 18. So after that happened, like 2 weeks later, all the things that I hadn't been doing in high school, I did it all within a span of a week. Like I got like drunk the first time, smoked weed for the first time, had premarital sex. I was just like, okay, yeah, I'm not a role model.
We ain't no role models.
I never asked to be nobody's role model. I'm just no, but like I just doubled down on all those things. I was just like, okay, I'm gonna do it. You know, my parents being good got me nowhere. That's what I understood it as. So I rebelled real hard, and it was kind of a crazy year. It was just so much, dude, so much in so little time, and I had no idea who I was until years later, and I got married. And I say years later because I was 18 when that happened, and I got married when I was 21, 22. So like in a span of 4 years, you know, like so much had happened. So much of my personality was like defined and tested. Yeah, it was just fascinating.
How did you deal with, and I think this is also like a question for Betsy too when I see her, but how did you guys deal with people asking you, why'd you get married so young? Because when people ask me that, I feel so offended by that, because they ask it in a way that is just so, that's offensive to me. And I don't know if I'm the one getting offended or if it's like, and I understand that I got married young, but like I almost feel like, well, why do you have to judge me for it? I almost feel judged for it. Because there was this guy, he came to, and it's always usually men, but also women too, they do this.
Older men?
Just any man. He was like a guy coming to fix like my electric bill or something, but he was like low-key like trying to hit on me, but like without hitting on me. Like he was just like, first of all, my dog was gonna attack him, so like I had to like get out of my house to be able to like do this paperwork thing. And he was just like, oh cool, so do you live here alone with your dog? And I was just like, no, I live with my husband and my dog.
Hell yeah.
And he's like,
drop the
you're
H-bomb.
married?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. And he's just like, how old are you? I'm like 23. And he's just like, oh my God, you're so young. And I was just like, bro, I know,
so
first
thirsty,
of all, nobody
bro.
asked you.
That's so
Second,
thirsty.
like, it just makes me so mad. Like, and I know that it shouldn't make me mad because it's just like, okay, I know the choices that I made, whatever, right? But it just makes me mad because why are you guys so judgmental? Leave me alone.
He's not being judgmental, dude. He's just trying to size you up to hook up with you.
Yeah, I guess. But
it has nothing to do with like, oh, why? You know, he's not really trying to know. He's just trying to be like, would you? Are you serious about it? You know, like
I've had that so many times. It's so stupid.
It's all dudes. You're telling me it's dudes? That means that's all they're after.
That's so stupid. Stop doing that. My Shark Week's coming up, so I'm ready to like square up with somebody.
Bro, square up like a shark, dude. So we would get asked why we got married so young, and our answer was just because we loved each other, and that's what we wanted. We wanted to be with each other. Now, do I recommend that? So here's the thing. Betsy and I are both the oldest.
Yeah.
Right. So we have we had a lot of expectations for ourselves.
Yeah, for sure.
And from other people, you know, and it was very interesting because going into our marriage, we had all these expectations, but they weren't necessarily communicated with one another. It was kind of just like stuff that was in our minds, and that caused a lot of turbulence in the beginning.
Yeah, for sure. A lot
of turbulence. But though we had a lot of expectations and maybe a lot of insecurities, we're also very stubborn. You know what I mean? Because we were at that very pivotal age of our lives, being so young, where, you know, you're no longer in the house. You're now your own individual. So we were like, no, my decisions are sound, and my decisions are my decisions. And we love each other. So I think there was a lot of that. And I know that to a lot of people, it was perceived that we had everything going on for us. You know, that everything was working out from the beginning. When in actuality, no, that's not the case. And that was to a lot of our young couple friends, because all the older couple friends, they knew. They were like, yo, yeah, the first 5 years are the hardest, you know. That's when things start smoothing out afterwards. So we had good people around us kind of like guiding us and doing that stuff. But I never took offense to why we got married. I think it's very different for a woman, though, because...
That's what I was going to say. That's why I was like, I need to ask Betsy, because I think for men, it's like they don't really... Yeah, I don't know why it's different. Why do you think it's different? It is. I just don't necessarily know why.
Well, I'm not sure. I think... I think for guys, there's less pressure on us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, it's easy to just chalk up a dude for being like dumb when he's young. You know what I mean? And I think there's a lot more pressure on a woman to make sure that she has everything together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
Especially because I think women are the prize ultimately. You know what I mean? Men aren't. They get the prize. They're not the prize.
Yeah.
So a woman needs to have it all together, and a guy just needs to be smart enough to get her.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Betsy and I tease each other because she's like, you know, I tell her that she's smart, and she tells me that I'm smart, and then she was like, well, I'm smarter than you because I'm the one I picked you, and she's trying to say that she's not smart, and then I'm like dumber because I got her, and it's such a, and we did that like literally right before we got here today. The night before I got here, we had breakfast together, and so I was just like, it's just such a trap. It's just like, yeah, you're right. You know what I mean? Or no, of course not, baby. You know what I mean? It's a funny game to play.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the compliment Olympics, and there's always like an underlying sneak diss.
Yeah.
But I noticed that Betsy and I, we only make fun of ourselves. You know, like we only make fun of ourselves.
Not of each other.
Sometimes we make fun of each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's good when we can get a couple jokes in.
Yeah, Sebas and I make fun of each other all the time. The other day I was like smiling at him. I was like, "You're so cute." Or it was like one of his brother's birthday parties, and I was smiling at him, and he's just like, "Damn, yo, big ass teeth." I was just like, "You're so mean." Because I tell him all the time, I was like, "I got horse teeth. I got huge teeth."
Yeah, you got those big old corn kernel chompers, dude. Those are those Aztec teeth, bro. Those
big
are
old teeth.
big old.
My molars came in really fast too. Like my teeth.
You were like 15.
Have always been like, yeah, like they've always grown. Like, you know when you get like your baby teeth out, like my teeth would always grow back super fast, and like big too. They were huge, and like they would just grow in like really fast.
Did you have braces?
I did, and I'd only had them for like a year and a half because they moved so quickly. Like, so everything with my teeth, like they're just so, I don't know, they work to my favor all the time.
Yeah.
Which is, yeah.
That's good, dude.
Have you ever gotten your appendix out?
No, I haven't.
You haven't. I hope you never do.
I've gotten my tonsils out.
How does that feel?
It feels
like, how do you know that you need to get them out?
Because then you can't breathe because they're too big. They're like too swollen. I never had any problems with my tonsils until college when I was praying to the Lord, Lord, stop, Lord, take away my wholeness from me. I don't want to be a hoe no more in college. And he's like, I got you, dog. And then he just like made me bedridden made me bedridden for like a week, and I was like starving and like dehydrated, and they took me to the hospital and got my tonsils removed. And it hurts for a little bit, but it feels great afterwards.
Good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Appendicitis.
It was bad. I knew that I knew something was wrong with my appendix months before I actually needed to get it out.
Oh, dang.
Because I would get like this really bad stomach pain, and I thought it was just gas pain, because my entire stomach would get inflamed, and like I would get bloated, and it would like hurt so bad, like to the point where I'd have to like sleep on my stomach. And then that was like in January, February. By August, I got it really bad to the point where I was just like, it's just gas pain. Like, it just has to be gas. I just need to fart. And so I was like running around my house, like trying to like get this fart out, squatting, like pressing my stomach like this. Nothing was helping. And so I was just like, just try to go to sleep, you know?
Were you guys married?
Yeah, we were married. So this was barely like 2 years ago. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And so I couldn't sleep, and that doesn't happen to me. Like, if I can't sleep, it's because something's wrong. Yeah. And I'm very in tune with my body, so I know when something's wrong.
Yeah.
And so I told Sebas, I was like, Sebas, it's my appendix. I was like, something's really wrong. I was like, we need to go to the hospital. And he's like, you're being so dramatic. You're exaggerating. And I was just like, Sebas, if you don't get out of bed right now, I'm leaving by myself. I'm going to my mom's house, and I'm going to go have her take me to the hospital. I was like, because it hurts. It hurts really bad. And I was pissed at this point because it hurt. It hurt really bad, and I knew something was wrong. And he didn't get out of bed. And so then I was just like, I'm leaving. And I left. I drove to my mom's house. My mom took me to the hospital, and took like a couple hours for them to.
Did it burst?
It didn't burst, but it was close. But they like pressed my stomach, and I was just like, ah. And he's like, yep. He's like, we're gonna have to take like a CAT scan of you because I think it's your appendix. And one of the nurses was just like, I think it's just gas. And I was like, I think it's just gas too. And I was like, and if it's just a fart, I'm going to be so embarrassed. I'm like, I'm so sorry if it's just a fart. But no, it was in my appendix. and they took it out a couple hours later. In the morning, Sebas was like, it was like 5 a.m. by the time that Sebas was awake, and I was just like, it's my appendix, by the way.
Bro, yeah.
And he was just like, oh shit,
I'm sorry, bro.
I'm so sorry. And then he came, and he was being all nice or whatever. I was like,
nice.
Get out of my face.
No, my mom used to tell me when we were growing up that it would be on my right side. She's like, if you feel pain in your right side, it might be your appendix. And I just remember every time I had pain in my right side, I was just like, oh God, my appendix is going to blow up.
It was so weird because like it wasn't necessarily on my right side. If like they pressed on my right side, it would hurt. But if I did it myself, it wouldn't hurt. But like if the doctor did it, hurt. But it was all over my stomach. And I had to like bend down like that. And like I didn't have a fever or anything. My body's really strong, which I thank God for so much.
Shout out to your body, dude.
Yeah, my God made me so strong because I didn't like throw up. I didn't have fever or anything like that. I just had chills and like just like really bad pain, and I was nauseous, but I didn't throw up or anything. But yeah, it was a bad experience. But it was also a good experience. It was bad.
Yeah.
But it was good because I got it out and I was fine. But it hurts afterwards too. Like I have like to walk and stuff. And I remember like the first time I got up, I think I got up too fast, and I went to the bathroom. My blood pressure like dropped, and so I was just like,
and just like fainting.
Almost fainting, yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude! I think the last like physical infirmity I had was had like some gastritis, but like really bad gastritis. I just started working at Uber. It was like
is this when you guys took the pictures?
Yeah, the classic picture. And so it was like right around Christmas time, so and I started working there. And, I had to get there early, like 6 a.m., 7 a.m., and they would have like free cold brew coffee on tap.
Yikes!
Right?
That's dangerous, bro.
It is dangerous, dude. And I would drink like 3 cups before lunch every morning. Just fucking coffee, no food. And it was cool. And I'm like, this is great. This is the most delicious thing. It's so smooth. It's not even acidic. And then just ripping up my insides. And I remember like a couple days, it was just like I didn't feel well. So I did like the, brown people remedy of just drinking ginger ale because that was going to heal me. And it did.
Bunch of sugar.
Yeah, just a bunch of sugar and ginger flavor to aid digestion. And it worked for a couple days, but then my suegra made me like a bunch of tacos, and they were so delicious. But then I threw them all up, and I was just like hurting, the worst pain in my stomach that I'd ever experienced to that point, and very much just like Sebas, my partner, thought I was like faking it, didn't really take me seriously.
What's up with them not believing us?
Mexican.
It's a Mexican thing.
It's a Mexican thing, dude.
Us Chicanos are
nah, dude. Please.
And they think we're like babies.
Yeah, I'm
actually dying.
Yeah. You don't need both your legs.
You're good with one. I'll make one out of a palo.
Seriously, dude. And so we took some photos at the mall because my wife's brother came for Christmas, so they want to take pictures. And the whole time we're waiting to take these pictures, I'm just like keeled over. I'm like huddled in a ball. My kids are curious of why the hell I'm like this. You know what I mean? They're like, Dad, and I'm just like, I can't play with you right now. I'm just so sick. And we were gonna take the photo, and I was in the back because I'm the tallest one in the family. So I'm in the back. I'm like huddled behind everybody, and they count to 3. I'm like 1, 2, 3, and I pop my head out. I smile, and then I just collapse again afterwards. So those photos are really funny because you can see how sick I look in my face.
You can't.
You can't?
No. I wouldn't have known until you told me the backstory.
Oh yeah. I was really messed up. And then I went to the hospital later that night. Yeah.
And what do? They
pumped fluids in me because I couldn't really drink fluids without feeling sick, so they had to put it through the IV. And then it went away. I think I took some pills for like a week, 2 weeks, and then I never had the problem again.
Bro, IV's magical.
Worried. They really are, dude.
Like I felt like instantly better the moment they like admit me in a hospital and put the IV, and I'm just like
We should do an episode where we just have IV bags hooked up to us.
We should. Yeah. How much do you think that costs?
Oh, like $13
an hour.
Yeah, an hour. We need to hire a technician.
We do. So you can just get IVs. Also, we said we were gonna have this conversation last week when we saw each other. Jelly-filled donuts, Richard.
Oh,
what's your problem?
Right, jelly-filled donuts are the best donuts. I vote jelly-filled supremacy, dude. Raspberry, oh my god, fill the raspberry. Or strawberry jelly is pretty good, or blueberry jelly is delicious. It's just because it's a different texture within the donut.
Yeah,
oh my god, listen, so good, dude.
I don't hate them. Like, I'll eat it if it's the last donut
then
available.
You've lost this argument, dude.
Yeah, but I don't really. That's not my first choice of donut.
Okay, what's your first choice of donut?
Apple cider donuts, them fluffy donuts that you just bite into.
All donuts are fluffy, dude.
No, Dunkin' Donuts are fucking stale, bro.
I mean, if you buy them stale, they're gonna be stale. But but we're not talking about brands of donuts. We're talking about types of donuts.
Yeah, apple cider donut, like a regular, like old-fashioned donut.
A regular old-fashioned apple cider donut that you only get during the fall time, correct?
Yeah, like those are my favorite types of donuts.
See, I mean, like, can you even count a seasonal donut as your favorite donut?
Okay, fine then.
Because this is your go-to. We're talking about your go-to every single day. Because they're not going to have apple cider every day.
Then old-fashioned, I would say. An old-fashioned or a powdered donut.
That crumbly, dusty old donut, dude.
Yeah, I'm simple, girl.
Old-fashioned.
That's so crazy. The type of donut that you like really does say a lot about your personality.
Because I am filled with joy and love.
Jelly.
You are dusty.
I'm dusty, old, crusty.
Dusty, old, crumbly, dude.
Depressed.
Appendix don't work, head ass.
I don't even got an appendix.
That's why it don't work, dude.
I don't have it.
It's just in a box somewhere.
It's like in a little...
It's in Chuito's water bottle.
With this pee.
Yeah, Daisy drinks it.
So
Mom, Jesse's appendix was in there.
Ew, that's so disgusting.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, shout out to your appendix. R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P. That's
But yeah,
sad.
dude. Yeah, old fashioned, really.
Yeah, I don't know. Not a big like donut person, but if I do eat donut,
Then why are you even having this argument with me? You started a fight about something you weren't even passionate about, and then you picked the worst donut on the list.
Week.
Yeah, it's your Shark Week.
I need to square up with some.
I gotta square up, dude. I'm just fighting for the sake of fighting, dude. I don't want to. I've been fighting my whole life. All's my life, so I had to fight. Yeah,
That's
dude.
a good song.
Jelly donuts. Donuts are my favorite kind of dessert. Yeah.
Oh, really?
My favorite dessert, donuts.
There's this cake. Oh my god, my cousins, if they're watching this, they're gonna be like, "You said that it's overrated, and we were being exaggerated about how good it was." No, they bought this cake, or they buy this cake. It's a white chocolate raspberry cake, and they buy it from this place in Chicago, or I think it's around here. I don't know, but it's like only this place has it, and it's a white chocolate cake, and they have like a raspberry like
filling,
like a dressing on the side, like to put on top of the cake, and it's really good. And at first I was just like, I don't know. I'll give you the place when I figure it out. I don't know, but they were like saying how good this cake was, right? And it was like a party I was hosting at my house, and they were just like, "Oh my God, Viviana brought this cake. It's like the best cake ever." And they were just like hyping it up so much that when I tasted it, I was just like, "Okay, this isn't as good as you guys said." But then when I didn't have it, and then they brought it to another party, I was just like, "Oh my God, it's the cake that tasted so good." So it's like one of those cakes that is, you can't hype it up, but like at the same time, it's like, it's good. It's a good cake.
And you like to fight and square up
about cake and dessert.
Yeah, so you're like, this isn't good.
That's one of the things is when people love something so much, I hate loving it too.
Why? Okay, tell me. Break it down for me, dude.
I don't know, but when there's like a trend going on, I'm just like, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to, or when people are watching the same movie that everybody else is watching, I'm just like, I don't want to watch it. Or the show, I wait till like the what's it called? Like just like I don't know how to explain it. Like I don't know, I'm blanking.
when it comes out on video or when?
No, like the hype. Like,
oh, when the hype is over.
When the hype is over about the show or a movie or whatever,
that's
or an
when
album,
you watch it.
Then I'll go and listen or watch or whatever.
And then you get all excited about it.
And then I get excited about it afterwards, and everybody was just like,
"The hell you told me about, dude?
I told you about this a long time ago," and I was just like, "Yeah, but I wanted to do it on my own."
Okay, so there's rebellion there,
yeah,
right?
for sure.
Just like counter. Okay. I feel that. I do that to a certain. I do to a certain extent.
Yeah.
For me, I think it's more apps. You know, when I saw when TikTok first came out, I was really hesitant to go on TikTok because I saw what was on there. Old school TikTok was just girls thirst trapping the entire time, and I was like, I
don't need that.
No, you know, but I foolishly didn't see the potential of the app, which was you can do funny jokes and stuff like that.
And I think that's what it has become, but I think like at first it wasn't necessarily that
lip singing
in
and
general
and just dancing.
But
and then even the commercials for it. Like I remember just like the advertisements on YouTube and stuff like that, and it would just be like hot girls. I was like, I don't need this in my life. No, Lord, please, I can't fight no more.
I don't know what kind of algorithm you on, Richard.
The hot girl algorithm. Yeah. What were your advertisements like?
Advertisements?
Yeah.
My advertisers right now, because I watch like so many sermons, are like Christian dating apps and things like that, and I'm just like,
nice.
I don't need that anymore. But that or like these weird like Christian commercials that are just like, why can't we just have better advertisements than this? Like, why? It's just weird like commercials or like scenarios that they'll put up as like promotion for a certain program that can help people. It's just
not sin anymore.
Not good. Yeah, it's so weird.
You never have to sin again, dude.
Never.
After this program.
Yeah.
My algorithm looks more like musician packs, you know, like producer packs, like drum loops or anything like that. Any like cool plug-in to buy musical gear, and then occasionally something that I brought up to somebody the day before, and then it'll give me an advertisement for it. And I'm just like, apple cider donut ad. You know what I mean? It's gonna come up.
You're gonna get like a.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, so I'm a little counterculture as well, but typically for things that I feel like don't have. Like I've always been counterculture when it comes to pop. Like anything pop, I'm just like pop music or anything.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of it. I've never been a big fan since I was young.
Me either. At Zara, I'm just like, oh my god, like
Play some better music.
I literally feel like stabbing my ears with like fucking knives, bro. I'm just like, when they turn off the music at like 30 minutes before close, oh my god, like my ears descansan, like just like, oh my god, finally.
Jeez.
But bro, it's the worst music ever. Like they just say the same thing over and over again, and it's just like dun 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 dun, and it's
baby,
just like, yo, no,
baby.
And like occasionally, like The Weeknd by SZA will come on, and that's like the only good song.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's all just pop music, and it's just like it hurts my head.
Yeah, it's too much. It's nauseating.
It's nauseating. It really is.
Yeah.
And then it like makes me feel weird. I don't know if it like it gives me a weird feeling. It makes me feel like I'm living in a very materialistic world. It's weird, and I mean we do, right? But like, it just makes me feel like, is there any purpose to this life? Because you have to think about it, right? Like, I'm in this environment where there's just clothes around me. People are just buying things.
Yeah, consumers.
Yeah, they're just consuming. And then, like, you're consuming this music, too, that's like...
That's very, very capitalistic. It's not to push art. It's just very much to be bought and then repackaged differently another generation from now.
And it just, like, it makes me feel really weird. I don't know. It just makes me feel like, what's, like, the purpose to buy, like, for people buying all these things and buying all this clothes? Like, do they feel like, what do they feel like? I understand the purpose of buying clothes, right? Like, sometimes you want to buy clothes, sometimes you need it, whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, I don't think you necessarily need a purpose to buy clothes. I think you can buy clothes if you want to,
right?
But at like the deepest of my anxiety and existential crisis, I was at Ulta,
okay,
buying things. And low-key, I was like trying to do something to make me feel better. And when I was younger, I feel like my dad would do that a lot. It's like he'd buy me things to like make me happy. And at a young age, I realized that buying things doesn't make you happy, or like things don't make you happy. But I would always try to get happiness out of things because that's the only thing I had. So I had everything that I needed. So I was just like trying to find like a excitement in something material. So if it's like if a new toy came out, I really wanted it, but like a week later, like I didn't want to play with it. But like in my head, I was only like 6 or 7, but I was trying to figure out like, why don't I want this toy anymore? Why do I want the other one if I just got this one? So now I was like at Ulta, and I was just like, what is the point of buying things? And I was just really concerned because I had never had that thought before. I had just bought things before and would be like, oh, I need it, whatever. But I was in line and I was literally freaking out, like panicking, because I was just like, why do we buy things? Like, what is this life about? Why do we buy things? Am I really living the purpose that I have for my life? It was like a spiral, because it was a spiral just from, like going out and buying something that had never happened. So it was definitely like a big awakening of just like, what am I doing, and what are we doing with our lives, and is it even worth living, right? Like, because if we're eventually gonna die, what's the point of all of this? And so
that's very interesting.
It's a hard thing when you get to that like point, and nobody told me that you can have a crisis like that. Like, I didn't know about that. I don't know if you've ever had that
existential crisis. Yeah,
I didn't know about that. I didn't know that could happen. So when it started happening to me, I thought I was going crazy, because Sebas was just like, oh yeah, I already went through that. And I was just like, why nobody tell me that? Like, you
never like studied existentialism in school or anything like that?
No,
you never read like Albert Camus or nothing like that?
No. And
The Stranger?
And I was like explaining it to my mom. I was just like, I just don't get why we're here. She's like, what do you mean? Like, she was just like, we're just here to like live, do things. But I was just like, yeah, but what's the point of doing them if we're gonna die? Do we actually matter? Or?
Yeah, it's the age-old question. It's what philosophers have been thinking about for years and years and centuries. Right now, we live in a very interesting time in society where, and I'll start it off by saying this, that it's written that capitalism is the religion of the rich, right? And consumerism is the religion of the poor, right? It's because we get taught philosophies now, especially here in the United States, where the individual is the most important thing, right? It's how you feel. Do you? You know what I mean? Take self-care. You know what I mean? It's all about you. It's all about you. It's all about you, because you're the individual, right? And then, because that's like the philosophy that goes around, that we need to take care of ourselves, that it's all about us. You know what I mean? Where in other places in the world, it's either about family, right? Collectivism, it's about family. It's more self-sacrificial. Sometimes people critique Asian parents for being tiger parents, when in actuality it's like, no, the expectation is that the child serves the family, so they do what they have to do, and then they bring that back, and then they bring the family up together, right? It's just like, it's all these sacrifices that we do for each other. But in the United States, we get taught individualism, right? It's all about us, No, I'm not going to give anything to my kids. It's just about my thing, right? I'm going to send my parents to an old folks home. I'm not going to let them live with me, you know what I mean? I'm not going to take care of them. They didn't take care of me. It's all about just ourselves. It's very, very American. I'm not going to take care of the poor. That's their issue, And what big companies do is that they try to instill the idea that the product that they have is a part of your personality. We got little MacBooks, right? Why do we have MacBooks? Because MacBooks are for artists. You know what I mean? Duh, you can't make art without a MacBook.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When in actuality, no, you can make art on anything you want to, right? But the advertisements for those were just, it's a creative powerhouse. PCs are for gamers. if you want to play games, you got to get a PC. You know what I mean? And PC people will probably tell me like, yeah, no, you absolutely have to get a PC, just because of the computing power. But everything is designed for that. It represents who you are. The apps you use.
Yeah.
TikTok is a young app. Facebook's old people stuff now. You know what I mean? And
Instagram is
yeah.
for everybody,
Coca-Cola is classic. Pepsi's about the new generation. You know what I mean? It's just like all these little slogans. It's just about being able to imprint those things on yourself, because in reality, sometimes we spend years of our lives not being aware of those things, right? And then we realize that this is all just fake.
Yeah.
Right? There's no substance behind it. Right?
And then when you realize that, it's scary.
It is
Because then
scary.
You're just like, well, where does my identity lie?
Yeah, it is. It is very scary, and I think that's why religion is so important.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. I think a lot of people are probably just like, well, I don't know. I still almost feel like people are very off put by religion, especially Christianity.
Yeah.
So I still sometimes hold back about talking about it, because I get scared that people are gonna be like, I don't want to listen to her, talk about God, stuff like that. But at the same time, it's just like, well, it's become a part of me now, because I realize how much it's changed my life.
Yeah.
Because at that same point of that existential crisis is when I was just like, man, I gotta find God again. Like, I felt like God knocking at my door and being like, yo. And I remember being on a walk, and I was just talking to God, and I was just like, I really want to believe in you, but I'm scared to believe in you fully, because I don't know what I'm gonna have to sacrifice, and I don't know if I want to sacrifice it.
That's very interesting that you say that, because I was just reading some scripture yesterday, and it just talks about when Jesus came, he was gonna baptize the world in fire and the Holy Spirit, and John the Baptist talks about he's gonna bring everything into the grain house, and all the chaff, which is the extra material, is gonna get burned up. And I used to be preached that as if it was people. If you're chafe, you're going to get taken away, God's going to take you out. So that was really scary for me. But then I realized it's more like parts of yourself that you don't need, that don't serve you. Because if we think about it, right, there's things that we like about ourselves, or rather that we hold on to them. They don't really serve us just because they're a security blanket. They actually become a hindrance.
Yeah, for sure.
And you can see how that affects your relationships.
Yeah.
The things that you hold on to. I know that for me, I struggle with this a lot. Insecurity that Betsy's mad at me all the time. If Betsy's upset about something, I assume automatically it's me.
It's you, yeah.
Right? Does that serve me, Jesse? No. Does it help me? Does it help me to think that everyone's upset at me all the time?
Yeah,
no. No, it doesn't, right? And so I have to let that go. It's little by little chiseling away at it. And as my friend Ethan Butler said, it takes a long time to build these walls. So it's going to take a long time to take them back down. Yeah. And so we just have to move in that way, man. For me, I feel like religion is extremely important. I believe in God, right? But I also know that God is just incomprehensible.
Yeah, for sure.
He's not in the box that a lot of people try to put him in. He's not some dude in the sky. It's something completely outside of my ability to understand.
There's not even a shape.
No, I don't think there is. And so I try to pursue that truth, because I do know that whatever happens in my life, generations are going to get affected. How I act now will affect my children in the future, will affect their children.
Because you've seen how past generations have affected you.
Right.
I see that.
And I believe it. And I believe it was Socrates that said, "A wise man plants a tree that he'll never rest in the shade of." So knowing that you're never gonna rest in that shade. Yeah. But you plant a tree anyway, because your children will. Yeah. You know that your family will. Yeah. And so it's good sometimes to check out of to step away from society. But sometimes I freak out, because that idea is also a marketable and commercial idea. The idea you could step away and take a trip, learn something, you know what I mean? And then People are like, get an Airbnb and do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Capitalism is pervasive in our world. You know what I mean? I saw like that memes. It's like, you're trying to square up with capitalism, but like, damn, I'm participating in it. You know what I mean? Like, capitalism got hands. You know?
Yeah.
But know why you buy something.
Yeah, I think it's just being intentional.
Yeah.
And knowing where your identity lies.
Uh-huh.
It's just about being aware. Because you can't knock down the whole you can't knock down capitalism.
No, and there's benefits to it. There's benefits to it. It hasn't worked for so long because it's all bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So.
Yeah, dude.
We're at an hour.
Our
time has been great together.
Episode 2.
There's some nice little gems in this one.
Yeah, dude.
Nice little gems.
Guys, take care.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Lie you.